All right, Facebook, YouTube.
Hi.
Hello.
Facebook.
We
Hello.
are the Bells.
Woo, woo.
And I'm Leon, Pastor Leon,
right.
Mobile, Alabama. It's my lovely wife, Lady Tamika Bell.
Hi.
And this is Marriage Monday. And
Marriage
you are
Monday.
here with us, and we are excited to have with us all the way from, is it Detroit? What part of Michigan y'all are from?
Detroit.
What part of Michigan? Detroit. Michigan. My cousin, Veronica and Glenn Howard.
Woo! Yeah, I doing.
I had to do that because some people claim like Atlanta, but they really don't live in Atlanta.
Kind of like
the suburbs.
Kind of like my Chicago family. They all claim Chicago, but they live like in Elmhurst, Lombard, Elmhurst.
So y'all want to make sure I get them the
Well,
right.
see, as you get older, then you can move up out of the city in certain areas. As you get older, but the roots are Detroit.
Grown.
There you go. When you get grown, but the roots are Detroit.
With the Howards.
Yes.
So before we get started, we gotta give people a few minutes to join us today to get on and be a part of this discussion.
Do our thing. For my ladies, you guys already know we're still in quarantine. Rona is still doing its thing.
That's a disclaimer.
That's my disclaimer for the hair. You guys know that if my head moves the wrong way and you see a piece of hair that shouldn't be, you already know it's Rona. It's Rona. It is Rona. Okay? It's Rona.
Rona is real in these streets.
Rona is out here, and Rona is causing problems for all of the hair.
And I just want to, just say that we are definitely praying for our nation, our president, and all these other cities and stuff that's going on around here. It's definitely time for prayer. We're praying for the family of George Floyd and the city of Minneapolis and all these cities around the nation who are experiencing not just the peaceful protests, but also the violence of the rioters and the looters. So we pray for peace for our nation. Now we get all that out of the way, let's hear from the Howards. So you've been married 21 years. You were dating.
You know what? Maybe you need to let them explain their.
So let's hear from the Howards. Let's go.
This is funny.
So we actually met in May 20th, 93. We got married in 99, but between that 93 and 99, we had some obstacles to go through to make sure that, this is what I actually prayed for when I asked God, look, I need a woman who wanted me for me.
Oh, okay.
I'll be specific with everyone when I tell them, you can ask for a girlfriend, you can ask for a girl, but when you ask for a woman that's gonna be for you, I have to say, through all the mistakes that I made within those 6 years, God let it be known that hey, quit acting stupid and get your butt back over there. And she was, God touched her to say, okay. So, we had some ups and downs within that 6 years, but after that up and downs in those 6 years, we got married, and that's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun. I don't like roller coasters, but hey, you know what?
Exciting ride.
So it's very exciting, yes.
Can we just take a brief moment to talk about the fact that he's the person that does not ride the roller coasters?
I don't.
Neither one of us either.
I don't ride them.
Okay, all right, okay.
So
you know what?
Because she's the real seeker, you know who keeps our roller coaster going, right?
Whoa.
Now, you know what? As a kid, when I was young, so we have a place here in Michigan called Boblo. Had. And I used to ride. I rode the corkscrew.
Don't matter.
Well, I rode some of the roller coasters back when I was young.
Correct.
And then when I went to Cedar Point, I rode some of those ones, especially that Iron Dragon, because I remember that one. But those were in my younger years. Okay. I did them in my younger years.
I like this.
So as I've gotten older, my thrill seeking has been Hey, we get in the car. I'm gonna try and push 100 and see where it go. Okay, that's my thrill seeking right there. Other than that, nah, we good.
You know what, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you do that, okay? You know what, Ricky Bobby, because you know what? If you ain't first, you're last.
There you go. If you ain't first, you're last.
You know what? Speaking silly.
Oh, you have been together, married 20 years. So Veronica, let's see, what was your thoughts when you met Mr. Howard here back in 1993?
When I first met him, yeah, okay. So when I first met him, he don't actually remember this. What happened? It was him and his friend. I was working at the mall at a chicken place, and his friend came up to me first and was trying to talk to me, and he was talking to my coworker at the time, just standing there, and then he looked and saw me when he moved down some and saw me, and then wanted to talk to me.
Just so y'all know, one thing that when I first saw her, she was in the back, the way that the counter was set up and where you can see where they keep the utensils and all that kind of stuff. So I had a full view from head to toe sitting in the back. And from that point, it was like, eye contact, I know what I'm seeing, what I like. And I'm like, this is me right here. Now, the rest of it, I don't remember because I don't remember talking to her friend at all.
Yeah, see, he don't remember that, but of course I do.
But he saw from the countertop, that backside.
Yeah, because I said that day, he was going to be a lucky guy today because he was going to have both of our phone numbers because I didn't want to talk to his friend. Yeah, I didn't want to talk to his friend. His friend wasn't my type of guy, but ironically, he was the other girl's type of guy. But I said, had he not moved down here, he was going to have both of our numbers that day.
So as I said, when you ask for certain things, you'd be surprised where you find what God sends you to go look for. And I found that.
So Veronica, so everybody know, I shared earlier, but Veronica is also my first cousin.
Yes.
We are two siblings, children.
Yes.
So Veronica, the question.
And she's also, because some people don't know that she's also one of the administrators of the page Why I Love Being Married.
She's one of our founding administrators.
Yes.
She's the
For
founder.
you guys that are watching, she is also one of the administrators for our page. So yay.
Woo-woo.
So,
all right.
He was just talking. He talked about how those 6 years of courtship, how it was kind of rough and rocky, and you stood there, the whole time. So what was it when he proposed to you, or that you said, you know what, after all of we've been through, I'm gonna still say yes?
After,
good question.
Honestly, looking back, knowing what I know now, it really it had to be God, because we were young. So really young. We met when I was 17. We met in May, and he took me to my prom in June.
Oh.
So yeah.
We'll come back to that. In it.
Right. So after dating all those years, and we wasn't in church, I'm kind of raised in church and things like that. Church wasn't there. And like I say, knowing what I know now, it had to be nothing but God.
Okay.
Because the trials that we went through, and I wasn't out there doing a whole lot of stuff or whatever, but I was there. Even when we wasn't together, we were still like together. So the Lord didn't allow nobody else to come around.
Right. And I
would say this.
Now they were young too.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that was during y'all, the years.
See, I kind of grew up together as well.
Yeah, we got married. I was 23 and he was 25.
Yeah. So yes, you guys together. So let's talk about this prom thing. So you telling me that
I'm gonna sip my coffee.
My girls let you go to the prom with him. One of them watching.
Monica on here right now.
You know.
So Monica, y'all let her go to the prom with this joker that.
Oh, hold on. Let me tell you.
Hold on. Renee, I don't know if Renee on here. Renee, the first time he came to the house, because again, I was going with the old boyfriend to the prom. Really would have been a huge mistake, but I didn't want to go by myself. But Renee literally pulled me by the hand, pulled me in the house, and said, he taking you to your prom. You not going with that other boy.
And one other person that we know, I just say Rita. I'm sitting in the front room watching TV, and them two walk in, and at this time my hair was still good. So as they leave, and Rita told her, "Girl, if you don't take him, instead of the other guy." Okay.
Yeah. So barely 30 days later, he takes me to my prom.
I'm looking at Monica's commentary. She said they did grill him, and if Renee and Monica grilled you, I know it was a thorough investigation.
It was a thorough investigation.
It was a thorough investigation.
It was very thorough. It was one of my investigations, except that my investigations now involve guns and thrills.
So you get married in 1999.
Okay.
And let's talk about that. You're a blended family.
Yes.
How was that in the first couple of years? Because we also a blended family, and we know how blended families can be when the husband and wife trying to become one and trying to bring that family together to make it one big happy family. And Veronica, you had a son. Glenn, you also had a son, right?
Correct.
And they were about the same age.
They are the same age.
They're 8 months apart.
8 months apart.
So how was that after getting married and becoming one with the family?
Well, even before we got married, I used to have fun with it because we would go downtown to the festivals and things like that. And for whatever reason, she wanted them to have the same outfits on. I'm like, not a problem. So here you have a light-skinned little boy and you have a dark-skinned little boy. One look like her, one look like me, and people would ask me, "Oh, that's cute. Y'all got kids, okay?" I'm like, How old are they? I was telling them they're the same age. And I remember vaguely being at the festival one year, one lady was like, "Y'all got twins. One look like you and one look just like her." I said, "You know what? Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that."
Yeah, because like if we say like they're 4 or 5, then they be like, and you tell them like their birthdays, then you know how you get that look like.
How that happen?
Them March and April. How you had? And I ain't correct nobody. I had so much fun with that.
I have fun with that till today because I tell them, I say I have 2 older kids that are 30 years old, and people like, "You got what?"
Yeah.
2 of them. I'm like, "Yeah, I got 2 boys." They assume twins. I'm like, "No, they ain't twins," but hey, I have 2 sons that are older and grown. It was.
That's how we are with the 18 and the 17 and 18 when we're like, yeah. Oh, y'all had stair-step babies. We did.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all
had stair-steppers. We did.
If you want to call them that, you call it that. Okay. Call it what you like.
Yeah.
Dealing with the blended family part of it, though, it wasn't bad for us. Literally one day, was it the youngest or Joshua, the teenager? One of the 2 younger kids. Something came up about dealing with blended families or something, and all 4 of them could not.
They don't know what a blended family is.
They never knew what blended families was.
Because they grown and they never heard of blended family, but we raised them as brothers. I never said stepkids. I never said, people ask how many kids you have. I give them one solid number because there's no such thing as a stepchild. And he called me mom and Dominique called him dad. And we didn't even have to say, call them this or call them that, because I would give you that option. But we had got together when they were just 3 years old. So, and we've been around, they've been around each other and stuff. So.
They grew up as brothers, and they grew up looking at it as, okay, Dad punished you. Dang, Dad did the same thing to me. They learned as they went that I don't separate y'all two. Y'all mine. Is as I told them, and that was that. Mm-hmm. No matter what people would try to say, we kept it as one single family.
Mm-hmm.
So the question I have with the blended family, because, and I love that how you said that you don't have the step children and stepmom and stuff that, because we don't do that either. It's like mom, dad, children.
That's
like
it.
you get the same whooping, you get the same number of licks that your brother got.
Yeah. Mama wants you, daddy wants you. You know.
That's right.
That when you in raising them, did you have any outside influences that will try to create, you know, your son and your son, or my grandson and your grandson?
Ooh.
Like, how was that family that you know, the extended family that these are our children and not mine and hers?
Well, we call them the extended of the blended. You know, them people.
You know what?
I like that.
You know what was funny is that a guy I used to work with, he ended up in the same situation where his wife, now that she had kids, and everybody was kind of like leaning toward when they had that first baby together, his family gravitated to that baby.
Yeah.
And as I pointed out to him, like, dude, you know, they're young, everybody under 10 years old, and all this. And I'm like, you know, you can't let them separate your kids like that.
Right.
What you do for one, you do for all of them. He was like, yeah. I said, so when it comes to grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, I've had I'm quite sure I've had plenty of cousins out that I wasn't around when it comes to family members being mad at me, because if you can't do for this one, you can't do for that one. If you do for this one, then you will do for this one. There's no, I'm not gonna let you disalienate my kids. I won't let you treat none of them different, no matter who you are.
That's right.
And I've got a lot of cousins out about it.
The biggest struggle, though, was really my dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Because, yes.
Wow.
Because he was really big on family, but because they was outsiders, you know,
Gotcha.
He didn't see it as this is my husband now and my son. We are one, you know. So it was really kind of tough, and he gravitated towards Dominique more so than Curian, and they could see the tension. So I had to explain to them, okay, over there, that may be what happened. That ain't right. But guess what? In this house, y'all brothers, y'all the same. We gonna treat y'all the same. We love you the same. I love you as my son because you are, even though I didn't birth you, but you're my son. And yes, my dad, and like you said, people probably talked about us behind my back, you know, but the biggest one was my daddy. And he kind of like showed it. He ain't really had it.
Well, a couple of my sisters too, though. A couple of my sisters, they had their way of dealing with it too, because they would get mad because I would tell them, you can't buy one something without buying the other one something.
That's right.
You know, there were things where on both sides of our families, when we got together, it was this big old mine. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it's yours, but now it's mine, and now it's mine, it's ours. And that's what we've kept it at. This is our family. And if you can't appreciate what we do and how we get together and do our things, then, you know, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, you're going to find yourself arguing at a blank screen, because I'll just look at you like you're crazy and keep moving.
That's right. That's good. And we definitely get it. We definitely get that part.
We did. Yeah, we do.
We had to put up some voices. My mom, in the beginning, she tried it. Well, can I just get my grandkids? Can I just get my grandkids? See, first of all, Tina, I'm just calling her Tina because she gone RIP. You know, I'm just playing because I wouldn't call that to her face now. Woo, first of all, Mom. By their first name. We mad, girl, you know, Tina acting up, but she tried it. And I mean, we had to really like say it, hey, no, Mom, let me talk to you. he is your grandchild. Well, I know, but I'm just used to getting them. No, you're gonna get everybody now, okay? And we even,
even at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like at Christmas time, we had to call around and say, okay, what are you getting the boys for Christmas?
We have to find out.
We have to make sure that everybody's getting the equal amount of gifts.
Exactly.
Like, no one is coming in here with this gift and everybody's got this gift.
Our only problem though was with baby dad. Baby dad in Chicago, so
yes.
He was the only kid. He was with,
Dad's the only kid. So, Dad's trying to do it up for him, but like, Dad,
whoa,
not this year.
Wait.
We can't do the other boys can't get set out like that.
Dad,
so
Dad, you gotta tell us when you sending a pair of J's in the mail.
Exactly.
You gotta call us. And these kids are big. You gotta do that, Dad. You have to call us when you about to send the iPhone. Talking about the boy said he wanted an iPhone. First of all, I didn't have one.
And we had to tell him, like, look, he can't get a phone this year because he's younger than the other two boys. And if he gets a phone, then the other two boys gonna want a phone, and he can't get one this year.
We're like, Dad, just hold up. Let's communicate.
So we have to communicate, especially around Christmas time, so to make sure that all the boys had the equal number of gifts under the tree.
Right.
All the gifts was about the same, so that you spend X amount on this child, X amount on that child.
That's right.
So we get it. Like we get it.
Yeah.
And people that have to blend the family don't understand there are so many more dynamics that go on. Because even though a lot we didn't experience baby mama, baby dad drama.
No.
There are the relationships and even marriages that suffer through baby mama, baby dad drama in the blended family dynamic.
Yes, Monica asked a question about whether or not Big Ro, that's the dad, shout out.
Did he respect the boundaries?
Yes, he did. Yes, he's very when you're dealing with somebody with some sense and that's grown. Yes, it's easy. So.
He wanted the question. The question was, Monica asked the question of, did he respect the boundaries?
Yes.
Okay.
So we couldn't get those gifts, did he respect the boundaries? And he did.
He did. He from that point on, they just taught all of us to like talk. So he would call and ask us and let us know what was going on, or no, we would all talk about it after that, just to kind of see, make sure it's at the right time and all that. So he definitely did. Yeah, because he's actually now. So yeah,
that's a good thing.
I think on your end, because he was a single dad. There was a lot of ownership over Jay. Yeah, he's the
only grandchild, the only nephew,
baby Jay. Everybody owned Jay. So when I come in, that whole point of, that's my nephew. How she gonna tell me? I'm gonna tell you because he live in my house. So it was, it was that type of, but after long as we stood, together as one voice, as we teach everybody, one voice, one unit, we good.
That's what it's all about.
It's that beginning part of it was, hey, no, right now, if you're not gonna get everybody, then.
And that's one thing that I think for those who are watching, if you're in a blended family or you potentially could have a blended family, that you have to realize that when you get married, you're marrying that person's children.
Yes.
As well as into that family, and so to speak. So it's not extra daddy. And we do that sometimes out of respect, but it's not to say ownership of that's your child, that's my child.
Yes.
It's like we are all one family, and we have to model that in every area of the family. And people that do not have a blended family do not understand the dynamics and the energy that has to be put into making that work. Like the two becoming one, and we got to make this whole family work.
Yes.
But see, the best part about it is when you have a couple such as yourselves and us, when you agree and y'all conversate and talk about the fact of, okay, because you're not gonna let me do nothing wrong to either one of these kids. I'm not gonna let you do nothing wrong. So we're not gonna let nobody from the outside come in and do something wrong. Everybody gets checked, period. And that's the best part about when you have the mother and father both saying, hey, this is it.
Yeah. That's right. That's
also, right. So next question. So you've been married 21 years, and we heard about Veronica's dad being, the only granddad for Dominique. What was your model of marriage growing up? Like, what was your model of marriage? What did you see growing up as for relates to marriage that was good or bad?
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm glad you put that disclaimer in there.
It's a loaded question. So hear the whole question now. It's loaded. What do you see as far as your model of marriage coming up? And that could be good, bad, as far as what you want in your marriage when you get married, or what you did not want when you got married, or I didn't have a model at all. And look, I'm gonna make my own model based on what I didn't get or what I didn't see.
You want me to go first? All right, so I will go first then. So, looking at the marriages as a childhood growing up wasn't nowhere near what I thought it would be, because I've seen a lot of divorces or staying together for the sake of the kids, as they put it. You know, I've seen some people that, matter of fact, they're still together today, but I'm telling you, they probably send them outside and be like, go breathe without a mask, or go over such and such house and, you know, get that coronavirus right quick and get rid of them. But, you know, I've seen where some things that made me say, okay, you know what? When I get married, I don't want that for my marriage. You know, I decided before I had got married that I only wanted to get married one time. Mm-hmm. I only wanted one wife. Man. I only wanted to be with one person. Man. And I wanted to do what I had to do to make it work without all the drama that I've seen in marriages over the years. You know, being able to talk, compromise. I've never seen that in marriages until we were like 15 years in or something like that. That's when I finally started meeting people, and they had been married either longer or around the same time, but they had the same values of, you know, I want to take care of my home versus, okay, well, I paid the bills. Now I'm going out to the clubs, this, that, and the other, going to do all this crazy stuff, having girlfriends and all these weird things and all that stuff going on. Yeah. You know, I was like, you know, I don't see that as a marriage. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it as a marriage when I was a kid. As I got older, started seeing it. Then when I got married, and I told her, it's you and me. That's it. Good. I'm not trying to go. We may fuss, fight, and argue. You know, we can disagree all day long. But by the time we get into that room, you wake up with an attitude if you want to. You're going to have an attitude by yourself. Okay? And she's learned over the years that once we've talked about what's ever going on, now we will clear the air and have a conversation of whatever our problems is, because I've seen where people have went dramatic back in the day on these things. My solution to that was, and I told her, you know, speak what's on your mind. Mm-hmm. You mad about it, say something. Mm-hmm. Let's clear the air. Mm-hmm. Because this is where we have to show our kids, which all our children know. They may see, oh, dang, mama mad what daddy did now, but they don't realize that daddy done already made up to mama. Mama just hanging on to the effects of whatever, but they know they know that daddy loves mama. And as I've told my older boys, hey, all right, I want a relationship like what daddy and mama got. I say, now you got to realize, well, as people say they want a relationship like ours, I say, you got to realize that comes with a lot.
Yes. That's
you
good.
You don't just get this relationship from day one. This is years of headaches. You know when I said this hairline went back?
Oh, the hairline.
If I let the hair grow, I got more gray up here than I do down here.
Go ahead.
You know, we've been through a lot. We've learned a lot, and a lot of stuff that we've seen from other couples, whether good or bad, has been worthwhile for us to see and hear about, because it just makes us realize things that, okay, you spent X amount of money on that car for what? Well, you bought X amount of jewelry or purses or shoes or something, you know. So, you know, we've learned to talk about those things and not fly off the handle like, oh, I'm leaving because you just spent all this money on these clothes and all this stuff. Or she said she mad and leaving because I spent money on my car. You know, there are things, you know, it goes tit for tat with it. Mm-hmm. But we've learned to conversate. We've seen from other marriages how to grow. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, because this is one thing that I never, ever understood until I met a couple called, their last name is the Striggles. When we met them, mm-hmm. They've been married, they up there in years. But I never knew that my sight, my sound, my smell, my touch had an effect on her to where, you know, when I saw this when I was younger and things like that with married couples, I never knew what it was, what was going on, but it was finally explained to us one year when we were going through this. And it's a change that women go through. We had to learn to deal with it, find out how it goes, because I'm telling you, I'm looking like, I think I'm gonna go sleep on the couch because, you know, I ain't going on the roof. I'm gonna go on the couch instead. You know, we've had those type of things, but it just, in our marriage, we learned to take some good and some bad from other marriages to figure out our marriage. I'll put it that way. That's very and here you got us later on laughing and sitting and talking with y'all. So I'm gonna let her go with her part on it.
So hold on, before she go to her part, I want to go to Stephanie's question. She said, how do you speak what's on your mind, but your mate holds it in until they explode?
Ooh, I got a good one on that one. Because see, now I usually, as I was told, I'm like a duck. Just let it roll off my back no matter what she says, no matter whether right or wrong, whatever. I'll just say, okay, because I don't want to keep the argument going or things like that. I had to learn to, when she asked me what's wrong, it was her way of dealing, our way that we were dealing with it before was she would leave me 2 pages on paper. Then it turned into it turned into a novel when this texting thing came out. Okay. So I had to learn how to respond in a decent amount of time to where I had to, there's just, I ain't even got to work yet. And I get to work, start working, my phone ding, I look, it's a text. I'm like, dang, how you expect me to read all of this? I gotta eat lunch, you know, but that's what, you know, it turned into. So dealing with that, I had to learn to respond to it in a decent way and quickly sometimes. Now, I haven't always done that.
Not sometimes so much as quickly. It don't have to be quickly because you got to think about it.
Correct.
Sometimes, and if it's a heated argument or however, you need time to think about it. I've grown to pray about it. But when I used to be there, we both used to be there to hold it in and then exploding. And after a long time, it took me to realize that that's not good. It's not good at all. And I think that that's something that you, honestly, you got to pray about it. And you have to come to that. You have to learn and you have to learn how to communicate. Because everybody don't know how to communicate. Definitely. Or communicate effectively. Mm-hmm. So it's a learned behavior. A learned behavior on how to communicate. And that's where you have to get with people. You have to get with other, like really married couples. To be honest,
that would be the best advice.
Is to get with other married couples. Because as far as my role models, I saw a lot of what I don't want. Okay. What I'm not willing to put up with at all. And like you said, we met this couple called the Striggles, named Striggles, and they by now it's probably been about 50 years. And some of the growing came with them, because what they used to hold these sessions, like teaching us like something in this area like this. And she told me one day about being mad and telling the husband, what he did. And I was like, why? He just did it. And she looked at me and said, you have to, because he don't know. I'm like, but why? He just did it. She said, he don't know. So with that, I wouldn't have known that, because we still would have been arguing, because I'm like, you just did it. How you don't know? So yeah, I do suggest, people that want to get married, that married, no matter how old, you still need other like-minded couples, because you can always learn from whomever, no matter how many years because stuff come up. We in 2020, things happen all the time, and it's ever changing. So to get with other people and then sharing this and stories and stuff, to where, it's like, oh, dang, you went through this too, because people don't know. People don't know.
And that's really how our coffee conversation that we have, that we're going to start a chapter in Detroit as soon as it's run over with.
Right.
All right.
It's kind of birthed through that, because when you do get around other married couples and you begin to have conversations like this, and you begin to talk, you be like, man, my husband is not as crazy as I thought he was, because your husband do the same thing, and your husband too, and my wife does that too, and his wife does that too. Like, he said this all the time. Like, it is so important, if you are married 1 year or 50 years, that you really surround yourself around other married couples that can really help you understand your spouse without saying a word to you, because you begin to realize that when you feel like you're in this by yourself, you think that it's only my husband, it's only my wife, or it's only my marriage that's suffering. When you're like, man, everyone goes through the same problem. They just get help before they throw in the lifeline.
I want to go back to something. I want to go back to one thing, and that's the exploding, because I used to be an exploder.
And when she explode, my coffee is not all the way. She just pour it all out. That gets. I'm like, what? And I just
told my truth. Okay, I used to be an exploder.
And then I'd be like, but, you got something to say? I'm like, no. You said it all.
You said stuff.
And stuff I ain't even know bothered you.
What are we doing?
She didn't tell me, Veronica. She didn't tell me.
So I used to exploder. So the exploder is usually the one who how can I say it, is mindful of feelings. So, and I was the exploder, because before I was told that I would be abrasive or harsh when I say something. I just speak with passion. So I started to kind of hold a little bit in, because I was like, oh, wow, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I'm going to be okay. And so what would happen is I would explode. But so what you have to do with the exploder is you have to communicate, definitely. But you have to tell the exploder, it's okay to say how you're feeling, and it's okay to say, you won't hurt my feelings if you have to say it, because the exploder is usually thinking that I don't want to hurt her feelings. I just want to talk about it right now. I'm just going to be quiet. But if you let the exploder know, it's okay to say it, whatever you want to say, and you have to make the exploder talk, because the exploder is going to say, I'm all right, it's okay, I can handle it on my own. So that was my issue becoming in, and I had been independent, INDEPE,
Spell it out again for us.
So I was used to like bottling everything anyway, and just kind of working it out with in God, and so I'm like, oh well, I just don't want to put my stuff on him, not realizing he can carry it all. So but with the exploder, just make sure that you tell the exploder, it's okay to voice your feelings. You won't hurt my feelings if you say this, and make sure you let them know, and you have to make them talk. because they're gonna say, "Oh no, it's all right." And you're like, "No. Talk to me about it." And then you tell me about how you feel about this. Because he'll still come in sometimes and be like, "You okay?" "Oh, I'm good." "You're not okay." So he's learned to now just sit by the bed, and then the tears will start rolling like a movie. Ooh, oh God. So that was my take on it being exploded, because I was exploding. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I was. With that, it comes like I took a communication class or whatnot, and you have to. For me, what I started doing was I would say, I need to talk to you.
Yes.
I come, real nice and calm, like, okay, we need to talk. I have something to say. I have something to get off my chest. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to fix it. I just need you to listen. That's where
right there. That's good.
But that's
it. You need to know that you want me to just listen and not try to fix it or solve it. Keep going.
Yes, because I know men are natural fixers and solvers. I just want you to listen. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I guess that's where I come to now, so that way I'm not holding it in, and you're going to keep doing what you're doing if I don't tell you. Mm-hmm. So that way it don't cause a further argument. I say, okay, we need to talk. Mm-hmm. I have something on my chest I need to get off. Please don't fix it. Just listen.
And I'm going to tell you, that was, every time she comes with that one, that is a hard thing to deal with, because in my mind, it's just like, she'll tell me what's going on the job about stuff. In my mind, I'm already like, hey, do this, that. And then if you come back and then you do this, and this, in my mind, that's what, it used to be where I'd say it. But, now it's where it's like in my head, I'm like, ooh, but, but I don't say it. I had to learn.
Yeah,
I had to learn to just listen.
This is the thing about an exploder. So, like, if this bottle was full of, like, soda, Coke, the exploder kind of holds it all in, and it's like the Coke is being constantly shaken, and the top is slowly getting loosed. And then the more it's shaking, it's building up pressure. And then you come in and just say something, out of the way just one particular day, and then the top flies off and the stuff goes everywhere because you've been holding it in and the pressure is built up. And how you handle that is you got to talk about it before the pressure builds up. So you have to find a way to do what Veronica just said and talk about those major issues before it becomes a major blow up. And finding that happy median and happy ground is really based on each relationship in each marriage. But you got to find that happy median where, okay, I'm ready to talk now, before if I don't talk, it's gonna come out as vomit. Mm-hmm. I don't care who gets it,
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of talk about it before.
Now, you know what? We had a discussion about dealing with that type of situation, especially with me and her. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the couple we were talking with about it, I had to learn how to be more not just say anything, but how to say it, especially when I'm saying it to her, to where it's like, you just can't just ramble off of anything. But it turned into the point where, if I was told, years in, I was unpacking my luggage. Mm-hmm. So everything that, being a person like me and people who are like me, we don't always say the stuff that hurts us or the stuff we're mad at. Well, yeah, not everything we're mad about. There are some things we just don't deal with. It's like, okay,
and that suitcase, clothes flying everywhere.
So after about 5 years, somewhere between 5 and 10 years of us being married, that suitcase started getting unpacked. somewhere up in there between that 5 and 10 year mark, that suitcase started coming,
it's tight.
Yeah, it was coming loose, and it was, it was all me on dealing with some things, and that's where the point of, like I say, dealing with an older couple, of how, they've been down them roads before. They, knew some things, and they just talk to us about how to unpack it to where it ain't make her say, look, y'all, no, I didn't make a mistake. And you just crazy.
And that's one of the biggest things is learning how to communicate, because it's not taught. So that's a huge issue. I know in a lot of marriages, because everybody don't know how to do it, and there's a right and a wrong way to do it. Some people have strong voices, Tamika, but
and especially if you have not seen married couples have a healthy discussion.
Key point.
This thing I learned in the communication, some workshop I was attending, that confrontation is not bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes confrontation is needed. It's how we handle confrontation that makes it bad.
Yeah.
But confrontation is we just having an intense discussion about something we both obviously feel passionate about, and we both obviously feel we're right about. But it's how we, like I think Stephanie said, we have to now learn how to have this discussion and listen to understand the other person, and not and prepare a response or a strong rebuttal or a stronger clapback to that person.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? Oh, go ahead.
But we want to listen to make sure that we're listening to understand what the person is saying and processing it. And sometimes that may mean to just table this discussion until we are both at a place where at least one of us can listen. Because sometimes we can be so angry and upset that we're not even arguing about what we're arguing about. We're talking about what happened last week or what happened last month. We both run about what even started the argument.
It's true.
Because we're upset, and now we're just trying to get even, trying to get the best clap back in. Trying to get a strong point. So we are so far from what initiated this discussion. So sometimes we have to, we talked about this last week, is keeping it relevant. Keeping it relevant and learning how to communicate.
Yeah. And another point about tabling a discussion, when you take, because we learned that too, about tabling a discussion, you got to come back to that table.
I take it, Glenn. I like coming back to the table.
Hey, y'all see the blinds right here?
No,
blinds right here.
He do not like coming back to the table.
I gotta come blinds myself.
You pick those blinds out.
But you know,
we gotta come back to the table.
Our window, this window right here.
I want to put this on dealing with that one. When dealing with the tabling or dealing with
go in the room and shut the door. You got to say your piece.
Those are some nice
hear
blinds.
My piece too.
Those are some nice blinds. Those blinds are nice.
I will say this though, on dealing with the fact of tabling, or the person who doesn't know how to, like me, didn't know how to express my feelings the right way, and getting things, my point of view across or whatnot. So I learned to do a couple different things. Years ago, I think I want to say it might have been one of our little biggest knockout fights we had. I ended up going to Wendy's. We got us some Frosties, a shake or whatever it was. We went to Belle Isle. We parked and we conversated. Just in the moonlight, and we just had I was able to, realize, okay, I need to get the words out. Let me just do it in my way. And that was one of the things that she ended up accepting the fact of letting me do. Not, okay, you giving me everything you want to say. And she learned to say, okay, I know you ain't gonna respond right now, probably. So it was cool to let me get it all in.
Yeah, want to feed me.
What's going on? And then we take this ride or whatnot. You know, we go. we go and we sit down and we talk because we've been down to Belle plenty of times to where we just we've had our rides and whatnot to where I had to do it at my time. That's one of the things that in the beginning she didn't get. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand at that time because I didn't realize what was going on. Like, okay, you know, the feelings I'm feeling like, yeah, I don't really like this. I got to do something about it. So, you know, it's one of those things. That's how sometimes you have to let the other person get it all in as to why you're mad. And they know why you're mad. Yeah, and prepare their response. You sometimes it don't come right after you finish saying your piece.
That's fine. That's as long as you come back to the table. Right. That's all I'm saying.
But sometimes it ain't bad to table something. It just depends on what it's about.
Not forever.
Well, some stuff just can be tabled and put up on the mantelpiece or put away because it's like, hey.
No.
Wait, Monica said, can you please tell the people what Belle Isle is?
I was gonna say
that. My bad. Belle Isle. Belle Isle is a park. Belle Isle is an island downtown. I'll call it. I'm gonna call it in our
downtown. It's a nice little.
It's called the Isle of Isle of Belle off the coast of Canada.
People all around the world listen to this.
Off the coast of Canada. Belle Isle. You get to go there. You get trees. Okay, so you get to go there and have fun at Belle Isle. Okay. You want to show your car off, you go to Belle Isle. You want to show your outfit off, you go to Belle Isle.
Gotcha. Okay. I love it. Mm-hmm. I got to go to Belle Isle.
Yes.
I haven't been there yet.
We gotta go do it. We haven't been to Detroit for good, man. We gotta go to Detroit.
Don't tell them that they watching, baby.
Huh?
That means we haven't been.
What did you just say?
Oh, we over here snitching on ourselves. Like, we haven't been to Detroit since we've been married. I said, don't tell them that they watching, baby.
Yeah, we already know.
Years, right? The whole family.
You gotta realize, I've been around the family since '93.
Right.
Exactly. Been around the family since '93 now. Come on.
Yes.
All right, as we begin to wrap up.
Wait, no, we have one person have an. You have your question first.
What's the question?
Wait, it's not on yours. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's talk about what makes
us happy. Yes.
All right, go.
All right,
I will tell you for those that know us, that know me, as long as you see this right there. Hold on, wait a minute. There you go. See, when you see that smile, I'm good. You know, my kids are taken care of.
I don't know if you can see it, but my shirt says my husband spoils me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's where me personally, because of, like I said, the way I grew up seeing marriages and things like that, my setup was I always wanted my wife to be happy. I want her to have a smile. I want her to feel comfortable. And we go from there. Mm-hmm. And everyone that knows us knows that, hey, if she ain't happy, I got some work to do.
Life.
There you go, man.
Yes.
Monica, we're gonna come to Detroit this year. I don't know when we're gonna make a trip this year.
Can I please just have for those of you who are not in the Belle family right now, just close your ears because I'm about to have a family moment. Monica, the last trip to Chicago, I said, let's fly from Detroit. I said, let's drive from Chicago to Detroit, stay with our people, hang out, and then fly home from Detroit back to Mobile. But he said that was too much. He said it.
She was trying to do a whole lot in that weekend. It wasn't just come to Chicago.
And you said the weekend.
He had planned a whole lot, and we had like a short amount of time to be there.
I was.
So We gonna plan.
Take the train from Chicago. If y'all go to Chicago,
no, baby, they gotta drive here and come on, and then and we would have got it in. And we would have got it in that short amount of time before y'all caught y'all flight.
I know we would have.
Oh, we're gonna get it in.
We coming this year.
This year.
And
we coming before y'all have to come back here. Now that's it.
Baby, they coming here for the wedding in June.
Oh, it's a wedding in June?
Yeah.
Somebody get married
to make it.
You starting you starting problems. Hey, look, if the Bell family is watching this down south, leave Tamika alone. Don't y'all mess with her. Leave her alone.
I thought it was because of Corona. I got my gift though.
So as we conclude, we've been about an hour in, almost an hour in. As we conclude, I want to just kind of share some things that you guys have learned about yourself in your marriage and advice you would give to someone who is looking to get married, or even someone who may be struggling in their marriage. Lessons you've learned that have helped you that you didn't know coming into your marriage. That could be a blessing to someone who is currently married or looking to get
married. The biggest thing, like I've said, communication. You have to learn, you have to practice it daily. I say, because we're not promised tomorrow, the next minute, the next second. Always tell your spouse that you love them. We say that every time we get off the phone, even though I don't like 2-minute conversations, but
so usually I send a text.
Every time we get off the phone, we say, I love you. You have to always be, you have to learn your spouse's love language. I know that's something, something, nobody talks about, but it's necessary. Because you have to know how to respond to each other. And just have fun. Even though being married is a lot of work, I tell any and everybody that it's a lot of work and it's not all bad, and have fun. Like we wrestle, we race. I try to keep him up on his skills.
We do car races sometimes too.
When I wrestle with him, see how quick he can move. But just have fun. It's really about having fun and loving your spouse. And it grows, it changes often because we change, we human. So just continue to love your spouse and always. Don't go to bed angry. And for the women that bring their husband their plate, even if you're mad, still do it. He may be scared to eat it at first.
She good at that.
I'm gonna fix that plate now.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, "Oh, thank you."
Real man.
Now I'm gonna fix that plate.
Hey, switch plates with him is what you do. Switch plates with him. That's all. Just switch plates with him, so that way it's like, hey, all right, go on and eat. You eat yours first. Well, here, let me give you some off my plate. Oh no, seriously though, dealing with newlyweds, newly to get married, or people that's already been married for years or whatnot. Communication is number one because I was bad at it, horrible. So keep going with that. And then I would say before you get married, especially for the ones who are about to be married and whatnot, conversation is the key thing. It's a lot of things that y'all could clear up before you even get married, before you get into the marriage, be like, well, I didn't know this, I ain't know that, I ain't know. Well, if you ask the question, plain and simple, just ask the question. I like this, I don't like this, well, I like this. It's compromise. Mm-hmm. So you learn to do that. If you learn to do that in the beginning of your marriage, you're gonna take it through all the way because you're both learning to accept each other's opinions, attitudes, and things like that. Everything that goes with it, you both learn how to appreciate the other one. So I would say in that beginning stage, have that conversation, and then as you go through your marriage, I would say. Everybody ain't got to know your business.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
I would say, yes, you want a key couple that you would love to be able to conversate with because, you know, they may be going through it too or been through it or whatever. But you ain't got to put it on Facebook, social media, and you ain't got to go telling everybody at the jobs, and you ain't got to go telling everybody here, this, that, and that. Just because they don't know what's going on in your house, as long as that, there you go. That's all they need to know. That's all they need to know.
I'm on cue.
I got to smile. She got to smile. Everybody healthy and doing what we're doing. That's it. Just because you don't know what other stuff goes on, you don't need to know all of that. You know, some things is okay, some things are not. But, you know, you just have to learn to conversate
and
compromise. Not 50-50, because there ain't no such thing. It's 100% marriage. Okay?
That's good.
So that would be my advice for the couples.
That's good.
That's good.
No 50-50.
No 50-50. It's 100 every time.
There you go.
Great.
Thank you all again for joining us. It has been great and fun talking with you both.
All right. We've had fun.
Before we go, I'm gonna ask is Elder Howard will lead us in prayer tonight.
Is it elder or deacon? We deacon and elder, or we minister?
Elder Deacon Howard.
For Monica, Renee, Small, everybody watching, we're gonna have a family Zoom.
And Auntie Annie. Your mama was on.
We're gonna have a family.
All right.
And do a family Zoom.
Yes.
Oh, and before we go, I want to say a big congratulations to Kayla.
Yes, Kayla. We forgot about Kayla.
Congratulations. She graduated in
Oh, yeah. All right. That's a little short one, ain't it?
Oh, Kayla.
Okay. I thought you said
like
Kayla.
me in the
No,
wedding.
Kayla.
Oh, they can hear me.
So what we gonna do? We should have had a family Zoom for Kayla. Why we had the
They did. And
y'all missed it. Jamaica. You missed it.
They did.
We gonna stop telling our family business on this live recording Zoom.
As I said, everything ain't meant to be said. Just roll with it. Just roll with it.
Deacon Elder Howard, lead us in prayer tonight for marriages, if you don't mind.
All right. Let every heart pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for this meeting that you've put together with couples all across the world, that they may be able to open their hearts and their minds, Lord, that they may be able to get an understanding of their spouses, Lord, that they may be able to become one to another with their spouses, Lord, that they shall be able to understand each other, they shall be able to walk together, they shall be able to have fun together, Lord. We pray that you just give them both understanding, that they may be able to reach out and let others know what it means to be in a happy marriage, Lord. We pray that you just watch over the blended families, keep them as one, eliminate that word, Lord. We pray that you give peace to every family in this nation, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for joining us. Those who are watching on Facebook as well as YouTube, we are the Bells and these are the Howards.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for joining us once again. Look
Thank
for
you.
us next Monday for Monday with the Bells. Bye-bye.